A 5-gram mushroom trip report, sent in by Zoe. I was given 5 grams of shrooms from my old music teacher in 2021, who got them from a local wholesome childhood band that I grew up around. I thought that was kind of funny. I decided to take them on a sunny day in late summertime inside of a big treehouse on our property. The trip started out well. I was playing a kalimba instrument on the rooftop of the treehouse and listening to the birds sing. As the trip deepened, I felt very connected to the nature and the world around me, grounded in the moments ahead of me. I realised in my past my parents weren't always around, which caused me to grow up faster and become my own boss, which was reassurance in response to the fear that someone would know I was tripping. This started out the internal guidance I was given, because it truly felt like a guide was talking to me throughout this trip. So I went back into the half-built room of the house, which had a door on the floor leading to the ladder, and a window frame with no glass in it. I sat down on the board of the door and closed my eyes because that is what I felt guided to do. At this moment, my trip was inclining quickly. I sensed a manly presence inside my consciousness, and it began to tell me what I was about to experience could not be done right without leaving everything worldly behind, including all of the words in my mind, in a giant suitcase, kind of like at the airport. I visualized this, and was then sent off, and saw that this guide was a giant wise owl of sorts. This owl taught me about the currents of life. He taught me that you cannot get stuck on things because all of the life on Earth is temporary and will go away. And these are some primal lessons that have stuck with me since. This owl was my father, you could say, in perhaps some ancestral sense. Next thing I knew, a spider crawled into my awareness. This spider was a giant, warm, loving, gentle, kind and friendly spider, a mother figure of sorts. She taught me that I am her baby spirit. She taught me to let go and to see things from her perspective, because I was being shown and taught through the eyes of the spider at this moment in the trip. The spider flashed images of some people I knew from around my life through my brain, and I knew that they also had a spider spirit within them as well. We were all baby spider spirits in her eyes, and it was comforting to know I had that kind of mycelium connection with those around me, even if we weren't particularly friends. Together, with the owl and the spider, I began to see life unfold. Nothing worldly or that could be put into words, but I can try to explain. It was like the shapes and patterns turning in on themselves. They moved, like atoms of colours through space and time. I saw that human bodies are just shells for the universe to move through, and to express itself on Earth. I saw the shapes and patterns moving in a way that reminded me of us as puppets, and the universe as the puppeteer. As the shapes pulsed for a while, then faded away, I was flown back to reality on the wings of a moth, and could feel the presence of the owl on the left telling me that if we ever want to meet again, and if I ever need them, they are always there in my deepest intuition. It was absolutely beautiful. And as I opened my eyes, I realised I was crying. Eventually, I got up and looked out the window. I saw strings of silver spiderwebs drifting through the field below me, shining off the sunlight above. I looked up and saw the clouds and the trees dancing. The clouds turned this peaceful pink colour and turned vaguely into faces smiling down at me. It felt very comforting, like there was definitely something beyond that had our best intentions at heart, and is always there for us no matter what kind of hell the world can put you through. It reminds me to stay optimistic. After this trip, I looked up the meaning into Gaia, aka Mother Earth. I read up about her and resonated deeply with the thought that what I experienced was all led to me through Mother Earth. The mushrooms, the owls, the spiders, and all creatures inhabit this planet, and so do we. And that we all have to be there for each other, and care about one another as deeply as the world cares for us, and keeps us alive. We must in turn do that unto others. I have never since then done such a large dose of mushrooms. It might be because I am afraid to encounter and reveal what my psyche has been through, or that they need to be not taken lightly. But I have for sure felt the presence of those guides here and there on my shoulders, telling me secrets through intuitive thoughts and feelings. Well, that was my trip report, and I hope you liked it. It means a lot that I got to experience this, and that others have as well, I am sure. And I would love to hear if anyone else has encountered animal spirit guides on their very own shroom quests. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Earthlings, Martians, Pleiadians, Zeta Reticulans, and everybody in between. A 5-gram mushroom trip report, a heroic dose trip report, that was probably one of the most wholesome I've ever read. You could not imagine a more idyllic, heroic dose trip report than this, and it just proves that there are positive experiences to be had at these more extreme doses and beyond. But it must be said, the higher the dose, the higher the risk, but it does not negate the fact that if you go into this experience with the purest intentions and have the purest of mind going into it, that you can have a jovial, just ideal experience on the level of this one. I know many people, I'm very conscious of the fact that people think that I focus too much on negative experiences, and I would argue that I don't actually focus on fully negative experiences all the time. I just think the fact is that the most popular content on YouTube, regardless of any niche, including my own, is that people like to hear calamitous, disastrous experiences of people messing their lives up. It just is the way of the internet, and it's the way of the human mind and culture at the minute. We love shock content. It is what it is. I'm very... it upsets me quite a lot that some of the most beautiful, life-changing, profound experiences, the deepest, most life-changing ones that don't even have any inch of negativity to them, just somehow don't get a lot of views. But I will continue to keep releasing them because I think it's important to balance it out. But I do find it quite strange when people comment on some of my trip report videos that have a lot of views and say, oh, where's all the positive ones? I feel like you only focus on all the negative experiences, and I actually don't. It's just the fact that people choose to watch them more than the other ones. It is what it is, unfortunately. But here you go. Here's a very positive one sent in by a subscriber as well, so thank you so much, Zoe. Hope you don't mind me using your name. I won't use your name. If you do email me a report, please specify if you don't want me to use your name at all. But yeah, there you go, a perfect case study in how a heroic dose can just induce one of the most beautiful experiences you can imagine, and can inspire you to learn more about life and earth, animism, the spirit world, and whatever. It doesn't matter whether you believe it or not. As long as it has a positive impact on your life, I think you can believe anything you really want to, as long as it has a positive impact on your life and you don't use it to ostracize or separate yourself from other people. I also love the fact that I'm assuming because of the name Zoe that this is a female. I love the you can see there's a difference between male and female psychedelic experiences. I've noticed that female psychedelic experiences can often have this this sort of astral level, I don't know how to describe it, I wouldn't know the word, this experience that is more, I'd say, yeah, more in tune with animism. There's often these elements of spirits guiding them, not saying that there isn't in male experiences as well, but yeah, I don't really know how to articulate it at this moment in time, but I'm sure many of you will pick this up if you notice many of the reports written by females, and let's just be honest, many of the reports I share are written by males, just because I've got a higher ratio of male of a male audience, and on an era with most of the trip reports are sent in by males. But when they are written by females, there's a different feel, there's a different flavour, there's more of an emotional sort of, what's the word called, like an astrological element to it. Yeah, I find it really interesting whenever I read a female experience, especially in this dose range. So I hope you found this really interesting, and I also hope that you see this Zoe and can talk to anyone in the comment section who can relate to experiences like yours, and you can answer any questions. And I'm sure there'll be many people, as per usual, that will accuse this of being written by an AI bot, so please clear that up for the inevitable comments that end up appearing. Just as a little tangent, I'm finding it very common now, each video, the amount of people that accuse the reports as being written by AI is getting to a quite absurd level. And one of the funniest things I find is that, here's a prime example, is I'll feature a report from Erowid or Shroomery or somewhere from the internet, or even my own emails from years ago. I'll go in my backlog and I'll state when it was written, and it was written before the advent of ChatGPT and these AI writing bots, and people will still accuse them of being written by AI, even though I state at the beginning of the report video when it was written. So that just it just says a lot, doesn't it, that now the sort of the epistemic sort of minefield is at its worst. People's grasp on knowledge is at an all-time low. Nobody knows what to believe. I feel very sorry for just the new generation that's growing up now. It's going to be very hard to discern fact from fiction, from disinformation, and people are going to take advantage of it, and that's just a talk for another time. I actually touched upon this in my interview or podcast with Find the Others. Please go and check that out. I'll link it in the description. He's a great guy, one of my favourite members of the Psychonautic content creation team. But anyway, here's me rambling. Thank you very much to the subscriber who sent this in. I'm really glad you had a beautiful experience and it tapped you deeper into your connection with Mother Earth and life itself. Really just a perfect example of a wholesome, life-changing, beautiful psychedelic experience. Gorgeous stuff. Anyway, love you guys, and I'll see you on the other side.